So about 2 weeks ago, Asmongold committed the highest form of blasphemy in modern America, which is to imply that the reason black people love to commit crimes so much isn't because of socioeconomic factors. So it all started with this video that was going viral on Twitter of some YouTuber repeating the talking points about how the reason why black people commit so much crime is because of more socioeconomic conditions and because of more poverty. And look, I am gonna expand a bit more on why I do not buy the poverty argument at all, since unlike you people that live in rich first world countries, I live in a very poor country that could be considered third world by some standards. And yet, despite that, for some reason, my country doesn't have the crime rates that you see in America and in Western Europe. Asmongold responded to this guy by saying, it's true that blacks experience systematic racism, they benefit from it. Blacks and other minority groups enjoy preferential treatment through DEI and affirmative action at the expense of white and Asian Americans. Socioeconomic conditions is a cope and everyone knows it.
Socioeconomic conditions is a cope and everyone knows it.
Yes, correct.
I mean, this is the Elon Musk style. No, they are genetically inferior and socioeconomic conditions are a cope.
They are. It's a fact.
You know, Asmongold made me kinda dislike him when he started giving his pro-Iran war takes, but now he's starting to win me over again. There were a shit ton of people that were calling for Asmongold to be permanently banned from Twitch for this clip, and Asmongold just doubled down by saying, socioeconomic conditions are a cope, even when you control for income, you have dramatically different racial crime rates. The same thing is true for men versus women, not generically inferior, another pathetic attempt to get me banned over inconvenient truths. And then Asmongold clarified on stream that he wasn't saying that it's a fact that black people are generically inferior, he was saying that it's a fact that socioeconomics are a cope.
So you see what they did, right? Is so two claims were made. They were genetically inferior and socioeconomic conditions are a cope. I immediately respond after socioeconomic conditions, which is the thing that I had mentioned earlier in the tweet, and they're trying to frame it as if I said it's about them being genetically inferior. Let me tell you guys something. Even if I thought that, I wouldn't say it on stream.
Obviously, I completely agree with Asmongold. Socioeconomics absolutely are a cope. And whenever someone does say that it's socioeconomics to blame for black people's general underperformance in society, what they are actually saying is that it's white people's fault. That is what socioeconomics boils down to. And I have seen some people say, does Asmongold not know that poor people are more likely to steal than rich people? And yeah, poverty definitely is a factor, but poverty doesn't explain it. As I said, I literally live in the poorest country in all of Europe, and for some reason I have never seen any store anywhere in my country have to lock up its products the way that I saw you Americans have to lock up your products.
Why in our own neighborhood are all the freezers locked on in Dollar General? There are locks on these freezers. We have to ask the staff to bring us the key to allow us to get grocery out of the freezer.
And it's not just America, you can also look at places like London. For some reason, my country, the capital of my country, doesn't have a burglary epidemic like they have in London. For some reason, we don't have a bunch of people riding bikes, snatching people's phones out of your hands. For some reason, we don't have this. And you know, we also don't have epidemic like they do in London, and for some reason we also don't have a knife crime epidemic, and for some reason we also don't have mentally ill people that just go around stabbing people to death for no reason other than they're just so mentally ill. Yeah, for some reason we don't have that. And I'm not trying to say that Moldova is super safe and better than these rich countries. It's not. I'm saying that there's no reason why the capital of my city would be safer than London. That shouldn't be a thing, and yet it is. And the reason why London is so dangerous is the same reason why every single diverse area in every single Western country is dangerous. It's not because of more socioeconomics, it's not because of more racism or more poverty. The problem just is the Diversity. The more diverse a area is somewhere, the more shit and the more dangerous it is. This pattern is so consistent that it's just straight up undeniable. And so many people just don't want to talk about this, and the whole gun problem in America is a perfect example. You always see people talk about how America has a gun problem, and then you look at statistics and say, yeah, you know what, it doesn't really seem like the problem is the guns. I don't know, it kind of seems to me like the problem is actually something else. And if someone wants to say that, oh, well, it's not just poverty, it's more racism, as if I don't have to deal with racism on a daily basis. And it doesn't really make sense to me, because if you do want to tell me that, oh, America is just such a racist country that it's just almost impossible for black and brown people to succeed, okay, then why aren't brown and black people leaving America en masse? Why is it that I see the opposite? Why is it that I see black and brown people risk their lives to end up living in America? And why is it that they do everything they can to not get kicked out of the supposed racist country? If America really was such a racist and oppressive country towards brown and black people, why is it that so many of them refuse to leave? I'm gonna make another comparison to my country, and I'm not saying this so that you feel bad for me. I'm just explaining why it doesn't make sense to me. My country doesn't just have a birthright problem like everyone else. We also have an immigration problem. We have had this problem for decades. People are leaving, especially young people are leaving to other countries, usually European countries, because it is actually difficult to make a living here. So if the socioeconomic factors really were so bad for black Americans in America, I would expect to see black Americans leaving their country as well. And the fact that they are not leaving tells me that the problem isn't actually America. I would actually argue that constantly telling black people in America that the reason why they're struggling, the reason why they're poorer than everyone else, the reason why they keep being put in prison is because of more racism, because the system is racist against them, because it's a white supremacist system and white people are just racist and hate black people for no reason. Telling all of that to black people constantly, I believe that builds resentment. And I believe that resentment actually contributes to their antisocial behaviors. If I got told that the system hates me, society hates me, and it's gonna oppress me and prevent me from succeeding and living a good life, then yeah, I wouldn't wanna partake, I wouldn't wanna be a productive member of that system. I would probably look for ways to cheat that system. But at the same time, I don't think that I would be going around and just punch random women that I see on the street. I don't see myself ever doing something like that.
I know some of us love our children, but some of our children are so far gone that we're going to have to put some of them to sleep in order to take back the neighborhood. Some of y'all don't want to hear that because you don't live in reality. But I'm telling you, as a psychologist, I'm not going to be able to psychologize all of them on the corner. Some of them going to sleep for God!